Hey, welcome to the sneak peek. Meet the speakers of the Expat Woman Virtual Summit, Make Bold Moves Abroad. I'm so excited to be here today to introduce a few of our speakers. We'll be bringing them up on stage as they join us. My name is Naina Kaputi. I'm the founder and CEO of the Expat, and I'm honored to be hosting this summit, which is free, it's global, it's virtual, and will take place from May 5th to May 7th. So next week. And I thought, why not showcase and share some of our speakers who can make it today, because the summit is all pre-recorded videos except for our live virtual networking events. So I said, let's give our speakers a chance to introduce themselves live. This event or this live stream is streaming on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and YouTube. If you're joining us on any of these platforms, let us know in the chat, in the comments, where you're calling in from and what you do. And while we do that, I'm going to have my speakers introduce themselves and also share what their topic is, what the topic or their presentation for the summit is. And can I ask everyone to mute themselves unless you're speaking? If you can just mute yourself, because I think otherwise we're getting some kind of echo. All right, so I'm just going to have you guys just raise your hand if you're going to speak, unmute yourself and introduce yourself, what you do, where you're based, what your presentation is about. And if you want, you can also share what your bold move abroad is. Go ahead.
Have I got sound coming through? Good, excellent. So I'm Henrietta. I'm Danish by birth, and I'm a UK trained counsellor and psychotherapist, and I support expats around the globe online or in my practice in Denmark. It's actually my second summit with the Expat Woman, and this time around I'll be talking about attachment styles and how it is extra important that we are aware of our attachment styles and that we work with them whilst we are abroad. I will talk you through the various different attachment styles. I will show you examples of how they interact with each other. And then I will talk about how you can begin to change those patterns that you often get caught up in.
Thank you, Henry. I'm really looking forward to that presentation. I did forget one thing. I do want to shout out our sponsors for this event before I have the other speakers speak. Sorry about that. So Rosemary, I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name, even though you've told me a million times how to pronounce it. The brain doesn't work like it should. So Rosemary is from the Expat Woman. I'm sorry, I saw the Expat Woman logo on your background, which is so cool, Rosemary. I love it. Thank you for that. So Rosemary is the business development manager and the expat tax. Sorry, brain freeze again. But Rosemary works for H&R Expat Tax, and thank you so much for coming online, supporting us through the sponsorship and also being a speaker. Go ahead and introduce yourself and do a better job than me, Rosemary.
No worries. So my name is obviously Rosemary Gualieri. I work with H&R Block Expatriate Tax. We service, I don't even know if it's 30,000 people, 30,000 US expats. We provide tax services to them. We have a DIY program as well. So for those of us who like to do things all on our own, we have a program that's geared towards expats. So it's, I can't say this, but I'll say this. It's like TurboTax for expats. And it's really well received, and we have a lot of clients that love it. And we also have our assisted business, so where you get full tax support, full tax planning, work with an advisor that is either a CPA or an enrolled agent with the IRS, and who specializes in expat tax. And I know that people don't think that matters sometimes, but it actually really, really does. I started my entire career as an expat tax consultant. It's all I know. It's all I do. If I were to, need someone to operate on my brain, I wouldn't go to a foot surgeon. So similarly, I would not go to a regular accountant if I'm an expat. I just wouldn't. And vice versa. If I was somebody who had foreign elements to my tax situation. So if I had a UK pension, or if I had bank accounts, or if I had foreign mutual funds, and I was living in the US, similarly, I would not go to just any old US accountant. So that's the niche that we service. Essentially, US taxpayers or tax filers who have a foreign element to their financial situation.
Thank you, Rosemary. Beautifully said. And what will your presentation be about?
So our presentation actually is going to be me and a colleague. It's going to be mainly about what to look out for. So we're not going to school you in everything expat tax, but we will kind of give you the basics, those sort of pitfalls and those things that take people off guard. Things that if you just kind of remember you heard about it, you'd be like, oh, wait a second, I got to look more into it. So it's that kind of thing. It's kind of guardrails, so to speak.
Wonderful. Awesome. I love it. Thank you. And again, thank you to H&R Block Expat Tax for coming on board as a gold sponsor. And because this summit is free, so we really appreciate when organizations come forward so we can make a summit like this available to everyone and also showcase the work that you do and your organization does. And I love that you have a DIY and you also have, a regular program, because I know people want to work, sometimes with an organization, sometimes by themselves. I'm excited for your presentation. Thank you, Rosemary. And then we have Simona, who is a Summit Spotlight partner. She runs a business called Coaching with Simona. So go ahead and tell us what you do, what your business does. Thank you for your support. Go ahead, Simona.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nina, for having me. And good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I'm Simona Pappalardo, originally born and raised in Milan, Italy. I have lived as an expat before in Malaysia, and I'm now located in the Chicago area in the United States. What I do is I really help leaders who are at the crossroads of different identities and culture understand how to drive in a different environment so that their careers can thrive, accelerate, and move faster. So I have 20 years experience in corporate America, and now I am my own business owner. So I have helped at this point dozens of women, especially, but women and men, re-entering the workforce, whatever that means for them in that phase of their life. And so my presentation is called You Didn't Lose Your Career, It Just Doesn't Translate Yet. Because I've seen this pitfall over and over and over. Now we are living elsewhere, and all of a sudden the value of what we do feels smaller or not understood, right? That's not actually the case. And so I will walk the audience through a framework, a very simple 3 steps framework of reclaim, reframe, and rebuild, so that you can really confidently have the clarity you need to re-enter the workplace, redefine who you are professionally, and at the same time thrive. Because let's be honest, what we do for a living, it's a big part of what we do, right? And so I am very passionate of this work, and I hope you will join me for the webinar.
Wonderful, Simona. And I have to also give you a shout out. Simona was the first one to go live in our Facebook group for the summit. It's not easy going live in a Facebook group, but I can do this live stream here with all you wonderful ladies, but showing up there, just speaking to the camera, and I'm so impressed you didn't do an or a you just spoke, it's beautiful. So yeah, shout out to that, and thank you for introducing yourself. We'll have Chanel, Julie, and then Karina just join us to introduce themselves. And I see a lot of action, a lot of comments. So I'm going to after our speakers have introduced themselves, I'm going to just read out some of the introductions from our audience. I love it. I love seeing so many wonderful introductions. Go ahead, Julie, Chanel, and then Julie, and then Karina.
Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I am Chanel van Zyl. I was born in Namibia, raised in South Africa. I've worked in Mozambique, I've worked in South Korea, I have worked in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, and now I am in Ecuador. I recently visited South Africa for about 5 weeks, and I'm so happy to be back in spring because winter was starting. So, yay, back here. I am a financial wellness coach for expats because I feel like, well, from my experience as a teacher in South Korea, we kind of just drift through life sometimes, and you don't make a plan, and you don't really know like what's going on in your money and what are the financial milestones, like what you got to reach, right? So we kind of just float around. So where I come in is I help you like pay yourself first. So what does that actually mean? And this will be in my presentation. What does it mean to pay yourself first? What does it mean to commit to that? And then the wealth, no, sorry, not the wealth. I'm so nervous.
You don't seem I wouldn't guess it, Chanel. You seem like
really?
Yeah, like I was like, wow, look at her, so animated, so smiley. I was nervous in the beginning. You saw I messed up half the introduction in the beginning. So it's all about being raw, authentic, scared, messy. Just yeah.
Okay, so let me try again. So during my presentation, I will talk about the pay yourself concept. What does that mean? And how can you calculate the number for yourself based on your earnings? And then also, like, what are the protection layers that you can implement? So for instance, like your emergency savings cash, your safety net, and the insurances that you need to actually protect you as your biggest asset and your loved ones and your money, and then how to get clarity on what is your next step for that. Like, what are you going to commit to? Are you going to commit to paying yourself first, just calculating that, or adding a protection layer? Easy, right? But these are very important steps, and I'm so excited. I can't wait. Is there anything else that I missed? What else should I talk about?
You forgot that you forgot to mention you got married. That's where you were.
Oh, I got married, baby.
And if you join the Facebook group, Chanel, can you mute yourself because I think there's an echo. Yeah, if you join thank you, Chanel. If you join the Facebook group, you will see some beautiful photographs of Chanel in wedding photographs in South Africa. So I think I also mentioned in one of my emails to all of you, like a lot of our speakers have had many things going on during this period, from getting married to someone is relocating, and then more personal challenges like caregiving, death of a loved one, etc. And you guys are still showing up. So, I just love it. I love that you're still making the time, because that's what expat life is about. I mean, life in general, but expat life, the show has to go on. We're always juggling so many things, so many challenges. But I love that everyone's still showing up to share your expertise, even if you're nervous, scared, frightened, whatever. As I said, I've hosted so many lives and so many workshops. I still get nervous and brain freeze at the beginning. I have to warm up. I wish I was like some kind of head warmer, warms your brains up before you start and then lets you go. But thank you, Chanel. We have Julie and then Karina. And guys, continue to introduce yourself in the chat and the comments. We're going to come to all of you shortly. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi everyone. So my name is Julie Max. I am the founder of a company called China Expat Spouse, and that's exactly what I do. I support expat spouses in China. And my talk at this summit will be about finding your place of purpose and your passion when you are anywhere, really, changing locations and or state, as in state of being. Because I feel that whether this is, I'm recently relocated, and that is so much harder than expatriation, not for the faint of heart. So I think it's valid for people relocating. It's valid definitely for people expatriating. It is whenever you have a change in your life, I think it's very important to figure out place, purpose, and passion. So place means all things logistics and also belonging. then purpose means how am I showing up in the world? What am I going to do? And who am I going to be? And then the third one, passion, is how can I use my innate strengths and talents to make the best version of that purpose that I possibly can. And I am super, super excited about seeing so many people in the chat that I know. And Ines, can I just give you a shout out? I need to put you in touch with somebody else who's doing what you're doing for Spain, because Ines was saying that she's building a soft landing app for immigrants to navigate life in the US. And I know a guy who does that for Spain. So Ines, we need to connect, and I need to introduce you.
Oh, I love that.
I can't help myself. I'm just like business matchmaker, and I just can't help myself.
I love it, Julie. And yes, I have to say, Julie's amazing. Julie, Chanel, and Corina are members, and Henriette are members of the Expat Woman membership. They're all amazing women. And Julie has been really great at collaborating with people. Like she's done so many collaborations within the membership, and I know when Julie first joined the membership, you were like nervous about maybe doing the YouTube videos, and you started collaborating with other members to do the YouTube videos, which I thought was such a cool thing to do. And now, of course, I know you're great at bringing people together. So I love that you're reading the comments and thinking about, who should I connect with while you're introducing yourself, talk about multitasking. I love that. Thank you, Julie. All right, Corina, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Corina, originally from Germany, and I have been more than 10 years now in Mexico, and I'm happy to join the Expat Woman. I don't know, it's around like 6 months, and it will be my first summit. And I'm talking about how you can reach clients through your marketing to your website. I'm a SEO specialist and help you to optimize your website for the search engineerings and in artificial intelligence search engineerings. And I connected for sure with the different places where we are. So I have make some reviews where, for example, are your clients maybe looking for you that is different if you are living in Mexico, in Germany, or in the States, just starting from that 3 countries. And I will combine it with your mental health. So we don't want to make you working like an octopus with 20 arms, because normally you have another business to run, but I will find a way to help you to do regular stuff outside there that helps that people find you for your right keywords and that you still feel in line with yourself. So for this, I have also created the life circle that the one or another had listened about it, and I adapted to the marketing and to the mental health, and I'm happy to work with you on this topic.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Corina. And you're joining us from Mexico, right?
Yes.
Yes, very cool. Okay, so I realized I didn't introduce myself, but while I'm doing that, I want the speakers, if there's a question you want to ask the audience now, about what you're going to be sharing, if there's something that you say, or there's a tip you want to share, I'm going to leave you guys to think about it. So, you can ask the question to the audience, maybe around your topic or any market research you want to do, just because I want to make this also more effective for the speakers. And then I will be bringing the comments here so we can read out who is in the audience, and everyone can read each other's comments, because we have people joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn on the Expat Woman platform. So I'm Naina Kaputi. I moved to the US in the early 2000s from India. And the reason I started the Expat Woman because I really struggled with finding my community. I realized that I really got on best with other women who had moved to the US from anywhere in the world. I felt like I could really connect with other expats because, as Julie said, expatriation is hard, but repatriation is even harder. But I was in the expatriation phase, and then I realized I lived in San Francisco at that time, and I was like, it's really hard to connect with other expats. So let me create this community so I can find other women who are going through similar struggles and challenges and discovering the US, or at that point, San Francisco. And that's how I started the Expat Woman. During COVID, my in-person events in San Francisco came to a standstill, and that's when I moved global. In fact, I I was hosting one of the largest expat women events in San Francisco in March. I think it was March 20th, 2020. And it was Yelp in San Francisco was hosting our event. And of course, 2 weeks before my event, I had to shut it down because San Francisco went into lockdown. And that's when I moved I moved the summit to May in person, thinking, oh, San Francisco will be back to normal by May. It didn't happen. And so I moved the summit online. And that was my first experience with hosting a virtual summit. And since then, the walls of the Expat Woman dissolved, and now it's become global, as you can see. And I think it's amazing because I get to sit in the bedroom in my pajamas. Of course, I am wearing a nice shirt, and get to connect and converse with all you women from all over the world. And not just over the world. I know Rosemary, Simona are in the US. I've never met them, but I wouldn't have had the chance. Our paths wouldn't have crossed if I hadn't started these global virtual events, because I was only focused on the San Francisco Bay Area. And so my topic for the summit is making your bold moves by building your own table. And my question for folks in the audience is, what do you think I mean by building your own table? It's not carpentry. It's what is building your own table, and why is that so important, especially for expats? So that's my question. Think about it while our other speakers are going to ask their questions. And I'm now going to bring people's comments up on stage, and also talk a little bit more about the summit as we move forward. And then I will be announcing the prize winners for our first activity, which was 100 registrations. When you reach, I asked people to register, everyone who was on the wait list, everyone in the Expat Women community, and I had a giveaway and a prize entry, and I said the 3 people who complete that activity will be entered to win a prize. So I'll be mentioning their names today, and then we're also going to give a prize away to the person. We're going to choose one person who is the most engaged and active in the chat. We'll announce the winner a few hours later, because I might be missing all the activity in the chat right now, but one person will be selected to win a prize. And I'll mention that maybe 2-3 hours after this live is over. Maybe some of our speakers too might decide, oh, I also want to give something. I don't know. I don't want to put them on the spot, but yeah. And that's so I'll mention it in the Facebook group and in the next email that goes out to everyone who's registered for the summit. All right. So in the meantime, people, okay, I'll bring your comments up on stage, and then if our speakers have a question, any question or anything you want to share, just unmute yourself and go ahead and do that. And in between, I'll read out the comments. Okay.
I'm really sorry, Nina. I just wanted to say I need to drop, but I want to see everyone at the summit. I am looking forward to that. See you soon.
Thank you, Simona. Bye. Okay, Daniela is ciao, Simona. Daniela is joining us from Argentina. She's an ontological coach and expat mom of 3 who supports expat moms to build confidence and belonging abroad. What is an ontological coach? I'm sorry, I don't know, but if you wanted to share what it is, sounds really amazing, Daniela. Go ahead. And yeah, okay. Anyone, any of our, I know we lost Corina. Okay, I'll bring her back on stage. Anyone else in the speakers who have a question you want to ask the group or want to share something? Go ahead.
Me, I would like to know if you ever thought that when your desk is a little bit chaotic, that it comes from inside, and what are really your needs. So because it's sometimes you're overwhelming in what you're doing on the outside, and for sure it's also in the inside. So, and did you ever were thinking about that when you work in the inner chaos to clear the clouds, let's say it like this, that you will be also more effective and efficient in your marketing to reach your clients and your leads?
That's awesome. Great question. So yeah, if you have a response to that, share it in the comments. And look, while you were speaking, I found this comment from Anna Maria. She said, good to see you here, Corina. Got your talk bookmark to watch next week. That's so cool. All right. Anyone else? Any of our other speakers?
So this is not a question, but this is an experience that I have with the question that was just asked by Karina. As a psychotherapist, I often see that the more overwhelmed people are by their inside life, the more structure, the more control they're trying to exercise in their outside life. So it may be someone who's struggling, overwhelmed, filled with grief or sorrow or whatever it might be, and they're trying to control it by, for example, overly excessively tidying up their home, cleaning a lot, trying to keep everything in check, because that somehow soothes their nervous system, but it's still not really hitting the spot. So that might be a way of viewing what you are seeing, Karina.
That's awesome. Thanks, Henry. We have Janeline joining us from Kuwait. I love it. I must be really late for you, Janeline. I love that you're so, that you're staying up for that. And Janeline, you are one of the prize winners from the 100 registrations that we did last week, the activity we did. So send me an email or message me on LinkedIn, and I'll tell you. I'll share the prize with you. But congratulations! And the other two speakers, let me tell you, the other two winners are Rebecca Nelson and Kisa Capers. These are the prize winners of our first 100 registration challenge. So congratulations, ladies. I said I will only announce them in the live. So the only way you guys can find out is by watching the replay. Janeline, you made the live, which is awesome. I don't know if Rebecca, and I know Rebecca too lives in another country, maybe Singapore, and Kisa I think is in the US, but I know people can get busy. But congratulations, Rebecca, Janeline, and Kisa for winning the 100 registrations challenge. I love it, and we'll be doing a lot more activities and challenges and prizes before the summit and during the summit. All right. Okay. Anyone else want to go among our? Go ahead, Chanel.
First up, I want to say Janeline. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's South African, just like me. Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I think you discovered it in the Facebook group.
In the
right?
Facebook group.
Yeah.
Yes. So hi. Anyway, I want to ask, what is the percentage of your income that you are keeping in your life? So if you have to think of the amount that you bring in monthly or annually, how much of that stays in your life permanently?
So you guys can respond to that question in the comments. I think, Chanel, you have to mute yourself. For some reason, my microphone doesn't like yours. It always echoes when you're not mute. Yeah, right? So just mute yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So if you have a response to Chanel's question, definitely respond in the comments. And then Virginie is joining us from Bogota, Colombia. She's a translator and proud mom. I mean, look at the number of countries that are coming on board already. We have Linda. She's excited about the summit. She's joining from the UK, founder and director of Making It Happen, providing bespoke coaching for leaders in international schools. So a lot of their work is building strong communities for expat students and families. Thank you so much, Linda, for that introduction. And sounds like you're doing some amazing work. We have someone else from the UK. I don't know why your name is not showing up, why it's showing LinkedIn user. If you want, you can share your name in the comments. But she's an expat for many years. She served sometime as a British diplomat. She's now coaching spouses, partners of diplomats, and military personnel. Love it. Thank you so much. Yeah. So let us know your name. Hopefully it will show up if you share it again in the comments. And what else? Delphine is joining us from Qatar. Go ahead, Julie. Go ahead.
It's Millie, who is located in Brighton.
How did you know that?
She connected with me on.
Oh, so you read her thing. So that's so you just by reading the introduction you were able to.
Well, how many people do I know in Brighton who coach spouses of military and diplomats?
That is true. That's awesome. I love it. Thank you. Okay.
I have a question for the audience because I am talking about Yeah, see, she says it's Millie McDevitt. I am talking about place, purpose, and passion. And for those who have been expats or who are currently expats, where do you feel you, out of those three pillars, which one is the weakest? So would you say that you struggle the most on the logistics and belonging part, or do you struggle the most on the identity part, or do you struggle the most in how to making the identity part happen, which is like how do you use your strengths and how do you use your innate genius to really make the best version of that purpose? So if anyone wants to answer in the chat, that would be amazing.
Awesome. Thanks. Thank you, Julie. Corina, you want to say something?
Yeah, I would like to say something to Julie because it's like when I think about myself, about my history the last 11 years, so it was a choice by myself that I came alone to Mexico, and I was totally in the pink clouds and I was totally in love. So all the things that is Julie talking about that hit me just when I was already 7 or 8 years in Mexico.
Wow.
And I didn't understood what was going on because I felt I was already settled in, and I built already a community and all of this stuff, but I figure out, no, it isn't. And as I know, Julie is from Germany as well, even that she moved a lot. So I didn't even understand how much my roots or my cultural roots are influencing that, what was going on. So I felt that really interesting, and I would have loved to know you, Julie, during that time.
Better late than never, but that's awesome. Look at that. Not just when you just moved, but 7-8 years later, which is, yeah, I think I've been in the US for over 20 years, and I think I still at times, question my passion, purpose, etc. So I love what you're doing, Julie. Rosemary, do you want to ask them? Do you have a question to ask the audience? I'll just read out Inez's comment because I think, and then Henriette will go with you after that. Inez says she's from San Francisco. She's originally from Uruguay. She's building a Oyster, which sounds like a really cool app for immigrants to navigate life in the US. And you live in San Francisco. Hopefully we can meet in person sometimes, Inez. It'd be great. I think that's the first time I'm seeing you or, connecting with you. So thank you. Go ahead, Rosemary, if you wanted to ask a question, and then we go with Henriette. Okay?
Sure. I guess my question would be, a lot of people feel that taxes it's a complex topic. And it actually doesn't have to be, but there are specific topics that some people get confused. My talk is going to be more about, I'm going to assume that most US expats have an understanding of some of the rules and requirements. But is there an area of expatriate taxation that is most confusing that maybe you would like me to include in my discussion? That would be my question.
And you're lucky, Rosemary, because Rosemary has been really busy with her taxes. She told me she's been working 80, 90 hours a week. And because she's our gold sponsor too, I gave her a little leeway with turning in a presentation because I don't want the other speakers to how come we had to turn them in? But, that's... we have to give our sponsor that leeway, but she was also really busy, and I know how it is. I mean, I have a friend who's a tax consultant, and I know how stressful it is, and I'm glad you made it today. So yeah, that would be helpful for Rosemary, so she can bring it into her conversation. Into a presentation as well. Henriette, before I have you speak, I had somebody. Yeah. So Louise is from London. She's looking forward to the presentation. She's an ICF coach, and she's certified in grief, loss and bereavement, and it's how it shows up in the life of an expat. And she founded the Art of Change in order to support the impact of all that bubbles away under the surface of a move and how grief falls into it. And I thank you so much, Louise, for what you're doing, because I think expat grief, expat guilt is so hard. I lost my dad while I was living in the US, and I didn't get to say bye to him until today. I think I still feel the pain. And one of our speakers recently lost her mom, and I know she's dealing with a lot. So thank you for the work you do. And go ahead, Henriette.
So seeing that I will be talking about attachment styles and how they become affected and how they influence our time abroad, And if this is too personal to put into the comments, it may just be a personal reflection for our participants today. But I'm really curious about how dynamics shift within a couple when we move abroad, how the power balance can change, how old traumas, unhealed wounds can resurface, and also how conflicts can actually amplify. And I'm curious whether others have also had that experience. It's something that I see in my practice a lot. And it really messes with our sense of self and our safety whilst abroad. And that's something I'm going to talk about during the presentation. So just a curiosity. And if you feel like sharing it, that's perfectly, sorry, I haven't got much voice today. If you feel like sharing it, I would love to see it, but it might just be something to have a quiet ponder on. Thank you, Nina.
Thanks, Henry. Is that a bird in the background? I can hear some chirping.
Yes, it's a bird.
Is it your pet bird? Is it like you have a pet? Or
No. It's outside.
Wow, how beautiful.
So, yeah.
Listen to that. That's lovely. We don't need background music. We just keep Henriette.
Well, there you go.
Thanks so much. And Julie, all of you who ask questions, just if you can scroll down and look at the comments, and if someone has responded to your question, just if you can unmute yourself and read it out, that would be great, because I'm still trying to pull up the comments of people introducing themselves. This is Anna Maria Luton. She's a business English communication coach focused on senior leaders, people with a goal to become senior leaders, and finance specialists. Thanks to a past career as an FD and CEO, it's also about mindset work with necessary English grammar and vocab on the side. Thank you, Anna Maria. And I know you've been pretty active in the Facebook group. You've also come to our previous events, and we so appreciate the energy and enthusiasm you bring, and so glad to see you here today. Anyone responded to any of your questions in the
Yeah, so Anna Maria responded to mine. So she was saying when she moved to Spain, she had 2 of those. So first, just the logistics, because for a Brit, the Spanish bureaucratic processes are incomprehensible. I think that is universal, right? Whenever we go to a different country, bureaucracy is it's terrible, because there's no sense to it. Like every country believes that theirs makes sense, but that's just because it's there. Like it's so normative. And but also an identity crisis, because she was moving away from her ex-partner, being on her own for the first time in 15 years. And so changing her career, and from being a CEO and also in the finance world, and became an English teacher. And I see this with my clients a lot, where it's just either you cannot work, or it's not the right time for you to work, or you don't find the job that you'd like, or you feel you don't have any transferable skills that, like, if you're an accountant, for instance, that doesn't translate well. If you're a doctor, that doesn't necessarily translate well. If you're a lawyer, that usually doesn't translate well. Like there are so many professions that are just way harder to do in a different country. And so I think this identity, and even if you're doing the same, but for instance, one part of the couple is the real expat making the real money, and then the other person is just the local expat who is doing possibly the same work but earns like a fifth or a tenth, then that is also an identity crisis that you have to deal with. So I see this a lot. So Anna Maria, I feel with you, but I don't know if it's helpful, but you're not alone.
Thank you both. Thanks for sharing that. And we have, again, LinkedIn user. Do you know who this person is? If Julie, joining from London, she's a project manager, lead in experience design, moved here from San Francisco and has lived in Tokyo, Los Angeles, and Hong Kong. I don't know again why LinkedIn does this sometimes with some people. So if you can let us know in the comments what your name is if you're still online. But thank you for introducing yourself. And let's see who else we have. We have Alice Cremini, She's British Italian, joining from Marbella in Spain, where she lives. She works in private wealth and foreign exchange for HNW, UNHWIS and corporates across EMA. Thank you so much, Alice, for joining us. And then we have Ellie. She's a speaker on cultural intelligence, originally from Guam, and now she lives in California. Great to connect. Wonderful. And tell us tell me where you live in California. Do you live in San Francisco in the Bay Area? Okay. And someone what is? Okay, she's exploring being an expat.
Karen Chong is my name.
What's her name?
Karen Chong.
Karen Chong. Okay. Yeah, Karen, I recognize your name because I know you commented on maybe on our LinkedIn event page. I think you commented or something. Okay, and I'm just looking to see who else there is here in the comment. Daniela explained what ontological coaching comes from. A branch of philosophy is the exploration of looking at an individual's coherence through language, emotions, and the body. I love it. Thank you. Okay, who else? Yeah. Some people are getting dropped from the meeting. Yeah, I think sometimes it does affect. I think StreamYard is very sensitive. So I'm sorry, I sound distracted because I'm trying. There's so many amazing comments, and these comments if it's on LinkedIn or it will stay on. So after this event is done, I encourage everyone to go to the comment section on the LinkedIn event page and then respond to comments, and some of them are directed at our speakers. This is Lakshmi. She's a doctoral candidate in project management, and her focus is on leadership, business strategies, and how organizations can adapt and grow in changing environments. She's interested in applying research to real-world challenges, especially around decision-making, cross-cultural intelligence, and performance improvement. And she's excited to be here. Thank you so much, Lakshmi. And I appreciate how detailed everyone's introductions are. That's so amazing, right? Yeah. Let me see if there's anybody else. Rosemary, I think it's from Anna. She's a former UK tax advisor, but the system here in Spain with the language has been hideous. Knowing how I didn't know, I've just handed it all over to an accountant, but I'm not convinced they do it right. And it stresses me doing it all in Spanish. Wow. And getting their marketing in Catalan. Do you work with expats in all countries or specifically expats in the US? Go ahead, Rosemary, if you want to answer that question.
So we work with US expats in every country, but it would be an American living abroad. So I wouldn't be able to do a Spanish tax return. So it's US tax. And I also work with Americans that live in the US that have foreign elements to their tax situation.
Thanks for sharing, Rosemary. And maybe because I am the founder and I live in the US, I'm a US expat. I think I was looking, and I will share those numbers, but I think the largest number of people joining us for this summit are from our US expats living abroad or expats living in the US. Maybe it's a time zone. I'm hoping to get people from other countries. I think the other countries leading were France, Netherlands, Germany, but we also have people from Mauritius, and you can see today Colombia, and so it's far flung. But I think maybe a lot of people moved out of the US because of the political scene, and things are not like they used to be. So but I'm hoping today all of you can invite people from your networks to join our summit, so we can really have very global and diverse network. And we also have people from Denmark. Henriette, I just saw your face and I was like, yes, Denmark too is, and I think Mexico too is. Yeah. Okay. Who else is this? This is okay. Oh, I read this one already. I think I'm at the end of my. Yeah. Okay. And I wanted to just share briefly what I meant by building your own table. Don't think anyone responded to building their own table. But so when I moved to the US, as Julie said earlier about, you using your identity, not sure what you want to do. I have a background actually in biotechnology. I came to the US to study film. I met my husband here in the US, who's a filmmaker. I rarely saw him because he used to work for film production companies, and he was gone like from 4 a.m. to midnight. So I don't want that to be my career. I want to have a life. And so, but I kept questioning, and then finally I realized I wanted to start the Expat Woman. I worked a couple of jobs in the US, and as I said, I hosted in-person events before the pandemic, but I never spoke at those events. I just felt I didn't have enough expertise. I was not good enough. I had imposter syndrome. So I was hosting these huge events, 200, 250 people, sometimes even 1,000, but I never hosted workshops at my events. I sometimes never even emceed or moderated the panel. I'd have someone else introduce and I'd speak briefly at the beginning. Hi, I'm Naina, I'm the founder of the Expat Woman. I didn't realize I needed to be the face and the voice of the expat woman. And that there's so many things that, come with that, whatever's happened from the country you've come from. Also I have an accent. I was very conscious about my accent because when I first moved to the US, one of the jobs I applied for, I heard from a third party that the woman didn't hire me because she didn't like my accent, because she just felt like the accent didn't represent who she was. And it was like, this is San Francisco, mind you, which is like a really liberal, supposed to be very tolerant, open to diverse, communities. Anyway, so that made me very conscious of really speaking up, unless I was in a group with other expats where everyone had an accent. But when the pandemic happened, and I could no longer hide behind anyone, because in a virtual event, you can't have someone else showing up for you, right? You have to show up yourself. So it pushed me out of my comfort zone. And then it pushed me to start speaking, even though so many years later, I still feel nervous sometimes when I talk. But I realized that I have to show up for myself, and I have to start sharing my expertise and my experience. We all have a unique brilliance. We all have something. We just have to find it. And actually, when you move abroad, you get that aha moment, because you're dealing with all these challenges and hurdles and stepping out of your comfort zone innumerable times. And that makes you realize I am strong. I can do it. And that's when I realized, if I want to get opportunities, if I want to inspire others, if I want to create impact and influence, if I want to increase my income because I want to run a business, I don't want to work for anyone anymore, I'm done with that, then I need to start showing up. I need to start building my own table and creating opportunities for myself. So I don't wait to be invited to speak at a summit. I don't wait to be invited to speak on a podcast. I don't wait to be invited to collaborate with someone. I create those opportunities for myself, even though maybe no one will show up. And then I also give other women an opportunity to be part of my table. As I said, all these amazing women said yes to speaking at my summit, right? And Rosemary went an additional step and also reached out to me and said, I'd like to sponsor the summit, so I could make the summit possible, free for hundreds or thousands of people that will be joining. And that's what you do. So that's what my talk will be about, how you can create and build your own table and invite the right people to that table. So that's in a nutshell. We have about 10 minutes left. I just want to ask the speakers if they have anything else they want to share, they want to add. And yeah, go ahead, Chanel.
Now that you say, like, stepping out of your comfort zone and, like, I'm strong enough, I can do this, my experience. I heard a quote yesterday, and it's all about humility. And it says, like, think of yourself. You don't think less of yourself. You think of yourself less. So you go, okay, I'm doing this to help others achieve a goal, or to help others, like you're creating this community. So it's not only for yourself, but it's also for the other speakers, for the other communities, the other expats who felt like they disappear in the crowd, to give them a voice and a platform. So that quote really sticks to me. And sometimes when I have to do something scary, I go, this is not for me. Like, this is for somebody else, to enhance somebody else's personality or experience, or, just seeing them. And that was so beautiful for me.
That is beautiful. Do you mind sharing the quote in the comments so I can then pull it up? That is a very powerful quote, Chanel. And you have to mute yourself again so we don't have the echo. But share it in the comments. Yeah, but what Chanel said is so true, because I think when we don't show up, we are doing not just a disservice to ourselves, but people who can benefit from it. And many of us come from countries, or maybe we grew up in families where talking about yourself, sharing your expertise is considered showing off. Like, who does she think she is? You need to hide in the background. And Rosemary, I know you also shared, like, in the workplace too, right? Being a woman, you have to speak louder for people to notice you, right? And then sometimes you start questioning yourself, like, should I even do this? And so, but like Chanel said, you have to think about who's going to benefit from this. It's not just about me. If I inspire someone, then it's worth it. And I know some of us post on LinkedIn and then we don't get anyone commenting on our post. And I'm talking about LinkedIn because I'm also a LinkedIn coach. Only 1% of the billion people, I don't know how many, whatever the numbers right now on LinkedIn are active. So you're putting your posts out there. Maybe you think no one's commenting, but people are reading your posts. I have got so many clients or members for the Expat Woman membership or clients for my LinkedIn coaching who have said, I've read your post and it really resonated with me. They never commented on my post. So I just want to say that's just an example. You put yourself out there because usually the people who are quiet and who are watching and listening to you may become your clients or may invite you to an opportunity that you wanted. So, and I wanted to share my favorite quote by Nelson Mandela. He says, I never lose. I either win or I learn. And I want you to keep that in mind. Like when you do something where you're stepping out of your comfort zone, even moving to another country or saying yes to speaking at a summit or showing up for this event or connecting with someone and you feel maybe, oh gosh, I made a mistake, it's not going the way you just did something that was difficult for you, and that's a win. And if it didn't work out the way you wanted it, you go back to the drawing board and figure out what do I need to do differently. So you learn from that. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox. We have 7 minutes left. Any of our speakers want to add something, share something? Go ahead, Rosemary.
Just to answer a question that was in the chat, one of the questions was, it's really hard to find someone who does U.S. tax and local taxes. And that, you're right, that is an absolute rare breed to get somebody who understands, let's say, all the UK tax laws and all the US tax laws and is able to keep up with all the developments in both countries. So I will say that it's a rare breed. There, in some of the larger countries, it does exist. And you can find those rare birds, but that is not something that I would do. I don't know enough about any one particular country to be able to do, let's say, a UK tax return and a US tax return. I know enough about the local country and how it relates to US taxes, but I do US taxes. So I just wanted to make that clear. US taxes for people who live in foreign countries. And I also work with people, somebody questioned about people who work in the US for a little while and then go back home. That becomes a problem too if they're receiving deferred compensation or restricted stock, from stock vests and things like that. I absolutely work with foreign nationals who are now non-residents, but who traveled overseas. So I know I bucket myself as a US tax preparer, but I can handle a lot of different scenarios. So I just wanted to answer those questions.
Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you. Go ahead, Corina.
Maybe some experience from my side for what Rosemary said, because I'm in Mexico, but I'm a German. And most of my clients are coming from Germany. And I can tell you till today, it's very hard to find really a tax expert that know how to deal with both sides. And even the German law, and this is very easy, when you are a long time, more than 180 days, not living in Germany, you pay the taxes in the other country. But also there are some specifications. So I just wanted to bring it out there because I saw we have some expats from Europe in our chat. I don't know where they originally coming from. That looks like that this is a global topic and not just for one part of the world. So it's each day it's still a challenge, and I need to say it's always stressing me. Because as a German, you grow up like tax like the dead, so something like this. So it was freaking me out, especially in the first years, and it's not easy. But I want to cheer up everybody out there. You are also not alone. So that I will repeat from Julie, there's a lot of topics that we share, and I feel like this community can help you to don't feel alone and maybe get always a piece of puzzle to come closer to what you are looking forward. And to Chanel and also to Nina, I need to be very honest. In the school, they told me my English is so bad I will never be good in it at all. So sometimes I get really nervous speaking even here in this chat, even if my job is mostly in German, my husband is Mexican, but when he comes, I speak with him in Spanish. And when there's a chat from a Mexican friend, I answer it in Spanish. So it's like, I think I have the capacity, but yeah, you need to get out of your comfort zone. And to Henriette, I feel like, don't let these people get in your mind. So it's like, you're perfect who you are and how you are. So it's like, everybody has his struggles, and I feel like this community helps to don't be so hard on yourself. So, and I wanted to just say thank you for everybody for that.
Thank you. That's so beautiful, Corina. I, when you said that, made me think, when you have an accent, or when you don't speak the language of the locals well enough, it means actually it's an added advantage, because people really thought it's because you've lived in another country, you've had that experience, and you're bilingual or trilingual, right? And so that's what you have to think about. Actually, I have an added advantage over the locals, because I have lived and worked in one or more countries. I can speak more than one language, and we, as you said, get it out of your head, but put those thoughts into your head. We have a few minutes left. I did want to ask two questions for the audience. How many of you would be brave enough to, or maybe some of you are already brave, because I know we have so many women here, some of you are already showing up on live, but how many of you would be comfortable showing up on a live stream like this? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious, because I know it's not easy. Live is the scariest thing, because you're going live, especially on 3 platforms, right? At one time, right? Julia's doing this, but this is like, I know how many lives you've been on till now. Go ahead.
No, seriously, live is not a problem.
Oh, really?
For me, pre-recorded is a death sentence, because I get so in my head, and I'm like, I have this perfect script, I want to just, and it's a disaster.
Right,
Whereas here,
Same here.
I don't remember what happened 30 seconds ago. No one else remembers what happened 30 seconds ago.
No, they're going to watch a replay.
I know, but who will? Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, who will go and who will be like, "Oh, she made a grammar mistake there." No, they're not going to do that.
Right.
I don't. To me, like plop me in front of 300 people, I'm fine. But tell me, this is the script and this is what we want you to record, and I'm a basket case. So I think it's different for everyone.
I'm totally with you, Julie. And because the funny thing is, I was in my mind and I was like, and what do you think the people will react now? So you need to assume a lot of things, and they are blocking your mind instead of speaking. So being live with you here, guys, is just totally great, because I'm also not alone. I see you all, and I feel like I'm talking direct to you. So, and when nobody is there, that is a totally different thing. I'm totally with you, Julie.
Thanks for sharing that, ladies. Did you want to say something, Rosemary?
No, same opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I guess for me, the lives are scary when I go live alone. When I have all you amazing ladies, when I go live alone, which I was doing for a while on YouTube, it was really scary, because I can see all of you. The comments are like buzzing. I've gone live where I'm not sure if anyone's watching or not, and it's so scary. But I hear you when you say recording your video for your presentation, because you're not sure, if you make a mistake. And I think maybe we need to change how presentations are recorded, where you can be authentic, and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's what I was telling our speakers, just be yourself. But I hear what you say. Thank you for sharing that. And so Anne-Marie said she's happy to plan a record, but when I'm live, I get verbal. Okay, Anne-Marie, but would you ever want to go live? I'm curious. I just want to know the people in the audience. And my last question is, before we end, is if you had to build your own table, what is something that you would like to do? What's something right now that's stopping you, and what would you want to do? Okay, bye, Rosemary. Thank you so much. Whoever has to go. I'm going to stay on here for a little while more. If anyone has to leave, we are at 10, but I'm happy to keep it open for another 5 or 10 minutes. So yeah, thanks, Rosemary, for joining us. Bye, Henriette. Thank you so much. Bye. Yeah. I'm looking at the comments. Any of you, my speakers, any of you, is there something you'd like to do, but right now, like with building your own table, but you feel like, you just can't do it right now for whatever reasons? Okay, what does Louis say here? Louis said, live is great. You get the authentic, unedited emotion and can really see the soul. So true, Louis. And I think also today with all the AI slop out there, I think, seeing people, they're real, where none of us are AI creations. I think, yeah. And I think, I'm seeing a lot of YouTube videos which are so like authentic. People are making mistakes and they're doing, and those videos are more powerful and doing much better than the ones where it's all like curated and everything. So yeah, do you want to add something, Rosemary, or were you saying bye? I don't know what Rosemary's talking to someone else. Okay, so Anna Marie said, I'm always open to stretching and challenging myself, but I know I'd hate it for the first time. Okay, yeah, of course, it is hard initially, and maybe, I don't know, the Chanel, Julie, and Corina, because they're part of the Expat Woman membership, I push my members to always like show up. Like, I'm like, come on, guys, let's do a live. Let's do, and even the speaker presentations. I think maybe for some of you, is this the first time for all of you presenting at a summit? I know Chanel and Corina. What about you, Julie?
Yeah.
Have you? Okay.
Well,
I
for
mean,
me, I've done a ton of presentations and I've done a ton of also events with other people where I was one of the speakers, but I've never done the pre-recorded online. Everything else I've done has been in person.
Okay.
Or more like live but online, and
Okay.
so this is new for me, and it was terrifying when I wouldn't have said yes if I had known that I had to pre-record. Actually, it's a good thing that got dropped on me later. Like, I didn't realize that it was pre-recorded because I was like, no, I'll show up, I'll do my thing, it'll be fine. And then I was like, oh, what? You want me to? No. But then I'd already committed, so there I was.
No, it's a hard, I agree. And, but the reason I do, and for those wondering why I do pre-recorded videos, so the first virtual summit that I hosted, it was all live. I had people calling in I had speakers from Hong Kong, Dubai, poor things had to wake up in the middle of the night. And I was so worried, what if someone forgets or that the tech crashes? Because I had them all lined up one after the other. It was so stressful. And then people were complaining, oh, I can't attend at this time. So I decided to make it easy for me, make it easy for the speakers, make it easy for our guests. We're just going to do pre-record. I know it's not easy, but you know what I mean? It's just still hard when you have to okay, I have to be there at 2:00. And people are mixing up the time zone too. Like, they were in a different time zone. They're like, it's right to me just before am I supposed to come on live right now? So yeah. So that's a reason why. Okay, Chanel.
Even with all the technology, I mean, you can still make a mistake. But for me as well, I've done live summits, but this was my first recording. And I find that the hardest part was like actually looking at the recording and like editing, and then you have to watch it again. And like, I've watched that thing like several times. I'm like, can I not just talk live to these people? That was definitely a thought in my mind. Yeah, I'm also a teacher. So, I mean, being in front of students was like second nature. So being on the internet and YouTube or whatever, it's so scary. But it's the more you do it, the more you get used to it, right?
Awesome. Thanks, Chanel. Okay, so we are going to, Chanel, you have to mute. Okay, so I'm going to end this now. I do have the QR code for anyone who hasn't registered for the summit yet. And I just want to, okay, so what did Louis say? Thanks for, I've had a hard stop it. So no worries. Thank you all so much. Thank you to all our guests for joining us, for being so engaged in the comments, right? And thank you to all our speakers.
This one's important. What time of day will you be releasing the videos each day? Just so I can organize my life next week since I'm in Spain, which is many hours ahead of you.
So it'll be 8 a.m. PST, which I'm assuming would be 5 p.m.
4 or 5 for her.
Yeah. So it will, but every summit presentation will be available for for 24 hours. Of course, we do have the VIP upgrade if people want to be able to watch these amazing ladies who have spent so much time with the presentations again and again. So we have that, but others you'll have them 24 hours. So that means 8 a.m. my time PST till 8 a.m. the next day when we'll release the next day's presentations. Okay. Thank you all so much, and register for the summit if you haven't. Jump into the Facebook group. We have so many introductions happening. Check out all the comments in on this LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. I will send emails to everyone who has registered for the summit to just remind you to watch the replay and to connect with each other in the comments. And our next event, which will not be a live stream but will be a Zoom, will be on Monday, March 4th. That's going to be the kickoff party for our summit. I think all these ladies will be there and some more speakers, and that's going to be even more fun. And that you'll be on Zoom, so you'll be able to, all your videos will be on, so you won't be.
Naina, you said March. You said March.
Sorry.
It's
Oh my
May.
God. It's May. Thank you. I'm like
Please.
2 months behind. Thank you. May 5th to May 7th. Thank you for paying attention and pointing that out. Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you. We are done. Thank you so much. Bye.